Hi everyone, it's so good to see you again. I'm sure you'd have heard the story where Jesus cursed the fig tree. Today we're going to look into that and understand what really happened and why it was cursed. So stay tuned. Alright guys, before we move on, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Now there are a couple of things we need to look at before going any further. First, we need to understand fig trees are everywhere in Israel. So fig tree is a symbol of Israel. That's a very important thing for us to remember in this context. Now, secondly, we need to understand that a lot of things happen around the same week. So that's the same week that Jesus was also crucified. Right? So we're going to look into that. This is what happens. On Saturday, Jesus came to Bethany. On Sunday, he remained there with his friends, Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. On Monday morning, which is the start of the Passover week, he went into Jerusalem. And then we know that he went into the temple and he saw everything that was happening. He was sad because a lot of, sales and things were going on, and he was sad and disappointed. But since it was very late, he returned to Bethany. And Tuesday morning, again, now as the King of Righteousness, he's now entering the Jerusalem again. And while he's on the way to the temple, he came across a fig tree. And that's where the story starts. Now let us look at the Bible, what it says. In Mark chapter 11, verse 13, and seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to see it if he could find anything on it. When he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. Now let's also look into Mark chapter 11 verse 14. It's also mentioned in Matthew chapter 21 verse 19 as well. And he said to it, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. And his disciples heard it. Right, so what happened after that? So we all know that after he cursed the tree, he enters the temple. And then he started clearing the temple and calling the money changers. You have turned this into a robber's den. What happened the next day? On Wednesday morning, as they went across that fig tree, they realized that the fig tree has been withered from the roots. And this happened on Wednesday morning, right? And we all know on the same week, on Friday, Jesus was crucified. He was buried on Saturday, and on Monday, he rose again. So now let us try to bring the context together. So we need to remember that before he cursed the fig tree, Jesus was sad and disappointed with the temple, what's really happening there. And then when he saw the fig tree with leaves, he was disappointed again, because just like the temple, the fig tree had leaves. Outwardly, it has leaves showing that it's very healthy, but when it came closer, it didn't have a fruit on it. Similar to the temple, where, from the outside, so, people are worshiping and a lot of things are happening. But if you go deeper, there's no intimacy with God. So in a nutshell, there are three things that we can actually take away from this. First, the Lord actually showed what's going to happen to the temple. And we know, 40 years later, I think around 4th August 70 AD, the temple got destructed. And the Bible clearly says that Jesus said that, this generation will not pass until they see this happening, right? So that prophecy really came through. Now, secondly, we need to understand Lord Jesus also did this as a physical parable, because he always speaks in parable. This is the first destructive miracle. All the rest of the miracles in the Bible are constructive miracles. And this is the first and the only destructive miracle in the Bible. Just to show the disciples what's the strength of a prayer. If you really believe on something, you can really do it. So he wants to show to the disciples, if you have faith and if you instruct a tree to wither, it will be done so. So he wants to show that as a real life example. And thirdly, it also comes as a warning to us, because sometimes we fill our lives with leaves. Sometimes people see us as though we are Superman, a great father, a great husband, a great companion, and so on. But within ourselves, there's no intimacy with God. So, maybe our outerly layer is very refreshing for people to see, but inside of us, there's darkness, and there's jealousy, and that's hatred, and things like that. So, which is not something preferred by God. All right. So I would like to end this short video with 3 lessons from the Bible. Right. So let's look at the first one. In James chapter 2 verse 26, it says, faith without work is dead. And again in Galatians 5 verse 22 and 23, it says, we should bear spiritual fruit, not just give an appearance of religiosity. Right? And again in John chapter 15 verse 5, it says, God judges fruitlessness and expects that those have relationship with him to bear much fruit. So I'll finish this with a one-liner. God sees our hearts, not about how we look, how we dress, but He sees us through our heart. So I hope this short message, has been a blessing to you. And if you feel so, please do share this video to your friends and family as well. So thank you once again for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.